When you don't know who you are, when you're disconnected from yourself, you are just reacting to your environment, you're reacting to people, you're reacting to life. My goal as a practitioner is to help them reconnect back to themselves so they can feel safe in their own bodies and learn to feel again. Your health depends on the quality of the relationship you have with yourself. If you're always sick, physically or mentally, or you're feeling stuck, anxious, stressed, check in to see what kind of relationship you have with yourself. Pain is your body's way of trying to get your attention. Tiredness is a way that your body's trying to get your attention. Stress, anxiety, your body is saying, hey, see me, hear me, acknowledge me. I need support. Check in.
Welcome back to the M26 Fit podcast. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, we're thrilled to have you here with us today. This podcast is all about the importance of having a strong mind and a strong body. Our goal is that each episode educates and provides you with practical steps that you can adopt into your everyday life. Now, before we dive into today's conversation with Courtney Rixon, a quick shout out to our captain's paddle every Friday morning that we hold on the Brisbane River with AusPaddle. It's a fantastic way to get some exercise, network with leaders, business owners, and much more. If you're around, we'd love for you to join us for some fun and fitness. So check out the description for more information. Okay, now let's dive into today's episode. We're incredibly honoured to have Courtney Rixon with us here today. Courtney is not only an advanced kinesiologist, but also the visionary founder of the business Keep Your Balance. She's on a remarkable mission to promote exceptional wellness by supporting one of the most powerful, primitive and innate systems that ever existed, the nervous system. We're all set to delve deep into her insights and learn more about the profound impact of aligning our nervous system with our wellness goals. Today's guest is Courtney Rixon from Keep Your Balance Kinesiology. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Magnus.
All right. So for anyone that doesn't know, could you explain for us exactly what kinesiology is and how you got involved in it?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, kinesiology is a holistic, natural and alternative therapy. And essentially with kinesiology, we use the tool of muscle testing to identify where there is stress in the body. Now, once we can identify where this stress is and what sort of stress we're dealing with is, we can then apply the right management strategies, protocols or techniques to shift this stress and help the person come back into balance or homeostasis. So in homeostasis, that's where you are at good health. So a little bit more about kinesiology. We work on the triad of health. So there's not one type of stress. You've got nutritional stress or chemical stress, you've got environmental stress, mechanical or structural, and then you've got psychological and mental. So if someone comes in and say that they've got anxiety, we don't just look at their mind, we look at the triad of health, we look at every aspect of their health and we see what's contributing to that anxiety. Once we have an idea of what we're looking at, then we'll again apply those different protocols and strategies. So if it is that their diet is poor and they've got nutritional deficiencies, of course, we'll have to work on their nutrition. If it is more mental and psychological, we'll have to do a little bit more talk therapy. If they've had past physical trauma, so they've had an underlying head knock or a concussion, we actually have to look at their structural system to help their anxiety. So you have to look at the cause to get the best result. And that's what sort of kinesiology encompasses. You have to look at the person as a whole, then we check in with their body to find out what's going on so we can help them.
I'm glad you explained that. I learned a few things there.
Cool. But it's okay if you also don't understand. It's something that takes a while. Yeah,
which is why you need a qualification.
Exactly right.
All right. So who is Courtney Rixon?
So I'll sort of go back to the beginning. I was born here in Brisbane, out on the Bayside. I grew up doing a lot of sports. I did a lot of swimming and I did a lot of jump rope. There was a time where I had to make a decision and pick one sport because it was I was actually just doing a lot. So I picked jump rope and I ended up doing that for 12 years. And out of those 12 years, I did compete at an elite level. I went to 3 world championship competitions, and one of them I got second in the world in an event in the women's. So that was a pretty cool achievement. And that's where I found kinesiology. So one of my teammates also won his division, male division, and this was the first time he won. So he was sort of the underdog before this. And I remember after he won, he said that he owed everything back to his kinesiologist. And then that's where I got curious. I met this kinesiologist, and the rest is sort of history.
That's an exciting story. So jump rope, that's an interesting sport.
Yeah, definitely. I know I always seem to pick industries where people don't really know much about or I have never heard of. So, yeah, I was fortunate enough to find like a little club in the Redlands. And then, the club grew and we got to travel for it. I really loved the sport. I think so much that it did become my identity. And then when I quit or when I didn't do it as much, I did fall into a bit of a hole and lost myself. And I sort of found kinesiology again, and that's where I sort of picked myself back up and found my path.
Do you mind just elaborating a little bit on jump rope? What is it?
Yeah, so it's similar to gymnastics, where with gymnastics you've got so many different individual events. I don't even know if you have team events in gymnastics, but you've got like your rhythmic gymnastics, you've got your, I think it's your tumbling, I'm not quite sure, but you've got your different routines and styles. That's the same with jump rope. So if you look at the individual side of things, you've got your freestyle, which is your tricks and your flips, and you've got 1:15 to just impress people. And then you've got 30 seconds of speed skipping, so that's literally as fast as you can go. And then you've got 3 minutes of speed skipping, so that's more of an endurance event. So that's skipping or jump rope. That's like the individual side of things. Team side of things is you've got your double dutch, so you might have seen on movies where people like come in and do flips and tricks and cool things there. And then you've got double dutch speed, so that's where someone jumps in the middle of the rope, you've got two people turning and you're going as fast as you can go. And then you've got your freestyle, so you've either got 2 people or 4 people doing like the same tricks and flips together. You're all doing the same thing, to music. So you've got individual, you got your team, and it was my teammate that won, and he had used a kinesiologist for his, I guess, his gold medal, or his gold.
So if anybody wanted to do jump rope in Brisbane, do you know where they can go?
I would say firstly reach out to Luke Boone. So he is another mate of mine, and he has his own jump rope business, and he's doing great things. He's in schools, getting kids to pick up a rope. He does a lot of travelling. He goes overseas, and he's constantly trying to be a better coach and mentor, and he's doing incredible things for the sport. So I definitely recommend reaching out to him, and I'll let him know as well.
Okay, perfect. Luke Boone, if you want to get into jump rope.
Yeah. His business is Jump Force International.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. Can you share what your mission and purpose is behind your business, Keep Your Balance?
Yeah, definitely. My main mission is to help and relieve people of their emotional and mental suffering. Yeah. I've been there before. I've suffered myself. It's not a nice place to be. So that's what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to help people have a better relationship with themselves, because I do think that's how you do overcome suffering. So that's the main mission. And with that, of course, is helping them with their health, their overall health. Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a chat about attitude. To me, attitude is everything. It affects my vision, what I focus on, my beliefs, and even my decisions. What does attitude mean to you?
Good question. So attitude for me is showing up for yourself and showing up for your goals, no matter how hard it is. Now, I don't necessarily think you have to be positive, or you don't have to look or seem happy. I think that can undermine how you're really feeling or what's really going on for you. But I do think it's backing yourself, it's believing yourself. And with that, I think you need to know your why. I think you need to know your North Star and your goals. Otherwise, you're not going to care. You're not going to know what you're working towards. And I think that's where people's poor attitude does come into it, because they're sort of in limbo. So if clients do come to see me and they do have that bad attitude, I need to know what's important for them. Yeah.
So starting off sort of a bit of their identity and their values.
That's it. It's really important.
So that's actually part of the treatment, that you're trying to instill a positive attitude in your clients. So that's important?
Mm-hmm, definitely. I mean, most of the people that do come and see me, they've got some sort of willingness to get better. Otherwise, I don't think they'd be there. But there are a few that they're stuck, and they've been stuck for years. They're not even sure that they're still willing or wanting to get better, because they don't know what their why is. They don't know what they want. They just know that they don't want to feel bad. They don't want the sickness. Yeah.
Is there any particular way that you try to help someone reshape their attitude?
Yeah, again, it's finding out what's really important for them. And to be honest, it might not be themselves. They might not care about themselves, but they might care about their child. They might care about their partner or their loved one. So that's their source of motivation.
That's their why.
That's their why. So you have to find out for them what is their why. And it may not be themselves, and that's okay.
Well, it's good. Obviously, like you pointed out, they've come in to see you. So clearly that's reaching out, and that's a positive.
Yeah. I do like that, and I like it when I see young men come to see me, because I know in the past it's been hard for, I don't want to stereotype, but males to go get help. They feel like that they can't be vulnerable. Maybe it's perceived as weak, but I do admire and respect the young males coming to see me and wanting to better themselves and work on themselves. I think that's really brave, really courageous.
All right, nutrition that we touched on before. Can you talk us through some links between nutrition and how it impacts our overall health and fitness?
Yeah, sure. So I'll let you know what I know and what I've seen, but I'm not a registered nutritionist. So I'm not giving any nutritional advice. I'm just letting you know what
holistically
what I know. Yeah. So first of all, nutrition is so important. So nutrition is fuel for your body. If you're not fueling your body properly, it's not going to work properly. Now, the problem with today's nutrition is that it's so full of sugar, preservatives, additives, chemicals, and foreign substances where the body is so overwhelmed and it just can't cope. Now, if your body's not coping, your body's inflamed. If your gut and your body's inflamed, your mind is inflamed. So you can't do much with an inflamed mind. Your mood's going to change. You're not going to behave in the way that you want to. You're probably going to continue to eat processed and bad food, and then it kind of keeps you stuck in this rut. Not only this, but if you're eating processed or bad food, you're changing your gut health, which you probably already know. And if your gut health is not right, you're not absorbing enough nutrients or utilising these nutrients, so it will lead to nutritional deficiencies. You need certain nutrients to think properly, to think rationally, logically. And if you're deficient in some areas, so like just say if you're deficient with vitamin D, omega-3s, magnesium, vitamin B12, that is going to affect your mood. Also, if you have too much in your system, like toxic heavy metals like lead or mercury, that again is going to lead to anxiety and depression. So nutrients are so important, not just for your physical health, but mentality as well.
So a little tip or advice from people, would that be go and see a nutritionist or just get back into the basics and fresh fruit and vegetables?
Like you said, it comes back down to the basics. If it's straight from the ground, eat it. If it's not, don't. It really is that simple. But first of all, if someone comes to me, they're stressed, anxious, depressed, I will look at them holistically. So I will look at their diet, I'll look at their nutrition on a basic level. I'll also look at other factors. Now, if it seems to me that nutrition plays a big part of their health, I will then refer to a qualified nutritionist or naturopath. So for me, I look at someone holistically and then I'll say, hey, you need to go see this person, or I can help you here. This is my area. This is my expertise here. So that's why I think it is important. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but seeing kinesiologists, you can get the big picture. You can really see what's going on, and then you can get the right support.
Yeah. Triage.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah. Yeah.
All right, now balance, obviously part of the title of your business, and I personally believe it's all about resting and then consistently evaluating and adjusting. How do you define balance? And you got some practical tips for us to attain it.
Yeah, definitely. And I did love your analogy that you used the other day around balance. That was cool. I hope you mentioned it on a podcast one time. So yeah, balance for me. Well, I firstly think the key for good health is balance. And I think health is priority, because if you don't have your health right, nothing is right. And what's this? I heard this quote sometime a while ago. How did it go? It was, if your health is good, you have unlimited goals. You can achieve anything. Yeah. But if your health is poor or you don't have good health, you only have one goal, and that is to get better. So I see balance around health. Now, how do you create balance with your health? Is doing the fundamentals consistently and well. So that's sleep, or enough sleep. That's good nutrition and diet. This includes water as well. This is movement, sunlight and fresh air, and self-confidence and self-love. If you do all those well, you'll guarantee that you will have good balance in your life. If you don't do the fundamentals consistent or well, everything else is going to be harder to achieve and to attain. So for me, balance around your health is priority. Yeah.
So doing the basics and doing them consistently.
Yeah. Or just consistently, really. Yeah. You don't have to do everything well straight away, but I think just start consistent, and that's enough.
Yeah. So your approach that we've talked about emphasises a holistic and natural support for mental health and fitness. Can you elaborate on this approach and how it differs from conventional methods?
Yeah, sure. So mental health, I know it's in the word, but it's not just about the mind, it's about the state and the health of the body too. Now, if you speak to someone that's anxious, they don't feel it in their mind, they feel it in their body. If you speak to someone that's quite frustrated or angry, it's not just in the mind, it's in the body. If you speak to someone that's depressed, they're generally tired. Anything that's going on up here or in the mind will affect your body. So you have to work on both. So when someone comes to see me, they're stressed, they're anxious, they're depressed, they've got low self-esteem or confidence, I don't just look at their thoughts or their mentality, their beliefs, and their behaviour. I look at the state of their body. I calm their nervous system, I work on their adrenals, I work on their muscles, because in fight flight, you tense your muscles. So if you work on both, you are more likely to get the goal that you want to achieve, because the mind and the body work in harmony. It's kind of like this. If you're angry or fearful, if I say, just be calm, just be happy, you don't just switch like that. It's because you have to work in harmony with your body and mind. They have to be in sync. If you think differently, your body has to follow, right? And so in the sessions, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to change their thought processes, but also change their state at the same time. Yeah.
Changing that state, I've heard and read that movement is the fastest way to change that mindset. Is that correct?
It definitely is. And I look at it like this. If you're struggling with your mind, how do you change your mind? Using your own mind, right? You feel stuck. So use your body instead. Use your body to help your mind. Yeah.
I love it. It's our whole M26 Fit ethos of strong mind, strong body.
Yeah,
You're just collaborating.
You're onto something there.
All right. Do you think as a society we're lacking in emotional intelligence, and does it play a role in our health and fitness, and what are some ways we can enhance and improve it?
Yeah, definitely. I do think some of us are, and it's not our fault. We didn't really have, or some of us didn't have our needs met as a kid. We didn't know or learn how to deal with our emotions. So, of course, we're not going to deal with them or know how to deal with them later in life. Now, I've got some notes here because I've been listening and reading a little bit more of Dr. Gabor Mate's work. He's a trauma specialist and he's a famous world-renowned physician, and he actually talks about the impacts of childhood trauma, or just not having your needs met as a child, how that actually affects our emotional state later in life and ultimately our health. And he actually says that there are 3 states of emotional conscious awareness. So the first state is where you know how you're feeling, you know what emotional state you're in, and also other people do. This is where I want to be, this is where you want to be, because you have the opportunity to do something about this, right? To respond. The second state is where you don't know how you're feeling, but other people can see that you're in a particular state. This is problematic because you can't then take responsibility, but you're you're affecting the quality of your relationships. And this is where a lot of people blame or point the finger at other people. They don't actually know that they're struggling or they're suffering. It seems that it's everyone else's problem or fault. The third state is also problematic. It's where you don't know how you're feeling and other people don't know how you're feeling. And this could mean that you've suppressed your emotional needs as a kid or as an adult, and you're detached from yourself. Now, if you're detached from yourself, you're almost in survival. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you need. You're suppressing not only your emotions, but you're suppressing your immune system, which then that has detrimental effects. And he actually talks about that actually can lead to cancer. So if anyone doesn't know Dr. Gabor Mate, I highly recommend looking into his work. He's amazing, and he just talks about how if we don't regulate or understand emotions, what that can lead to, the consequences of that. So my goal as a practitioner is to help them reconnect back to themselves so they can feel safe in their own bodies and learn to feel again. If you don't see, a kinesiologist, or if you don't seek support, I highly recommend just getting to know yourself, being with yourself, and doing things that help you get back into your body. So exercise, yoga, stretching, breath work, breathing exercises, anything so that you can start to get a sense of your own body.
Coming back to that whole identity and values again as a starting point.
That's it. Yeah.
So your mission emphasises promoting exceptional wellness by supporting the nervous system. Can you share some suggestions on how we can nurture, connect, heal and better understand our nervous systems?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, your nervous system is amazing. Its primary job is to keep you safe and alive. I always say it's our job to keep us alive. It's our body's job to keep us alive. It's our job to make us happy. So your nervous system, your body is constantly doing what it can to make you feel safe. Now if you've gone something through, I'm actually going off track of what I was going to say then, maybe because the question was different, but all right, I'm going to rewind. So I believe and I see that a lot of people are in survival mode 24/7. They're not in thriving mode. Now, they're in survival because they are so disconnected from themselves. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. And when you don't know who you are, when you're disconnected from yourself, you are just reacting to your environment. You're reacting to people. You're reacting to life. Not only does this affect us on a physiological level and affect our health, but it affects the quality of our life. So my goal is to get people out of survival mode, first of all, find out what actually triggers them, what puts them into survival mode, and then give them the tools and techniques so that they can help themselves. So there are a couple of things that put people into survival. Again, food and poor nutrition, emotional stress or childhood trauma, and physical trauma. So this is underlying head knocks. These are accidents, falls, and the physical trauma puts the it shocks the body so much that the body is not able to bounce back. So some people are living in survival or this state of fight-flight from a past physical trauma, and then that's where it's important to then look at their structural system, look at their nervous system, and reset their neurology and just help the body come back into homeostasis.
Sounds like you do a fair bit.
Yeah, it's I have to work on a holistic level to give the client what they need, and if I can't, then I at least have to refer to the person that can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So given the increasing prevalence of stress in today's society, what are some proactive measures we can all take to address this stress before it reaches emergency crisis mode?
Yeah. So really take the time to get to know yourself. Yeah. Spend time with yourself. Learn to know what you need.
What your triggers are.
Yeah, exactly. The more you can understand yourself and know what you need, the more you can start helping yourself. If you can help yourself, you're being preventative with your health. You won't reach emergency mode. We really need to start listening to our own bodies instead of, I don't want to undermine doctors or anything, but if you get sick or you're not feeling so great, check in with yourself. What do you need? Don't go straight to the doctor. Don't go straight to the chiro. Don't go straight to someone else. You know better than anyone else what you need. You just need to take the time to get to know you first. Yeah.
So just keeping an eye on yourself and not letting it get into that crisis emergency mode before you do something about it.
Yeah. And also not ignoring yourself. Like pain is your body's way of trying to get your attention. Tiredness is a way that your body's trying to get your attention. Stress, anxiety, your body is saying, hey, see me, hear me, acknowledge me. I need support. Check in. What do you really need? Is it time away? And some people even know what they need, but they just don't do it. Okay, so it's really about self-respect.
Yeah. Super important.
Yeah.
Now, can you share with us any extra advice or practical tips you'd have for the listeners today?
Good question. I guess advice, but I firstly want to reiterate that the quality of your health determines I want to say this again. Your health depends on the quality of the relationship you have with yourself. So if you're always sick physically or mentally, or you're feeling stuck, anxious, stressed, check in to see what kind of relationship you have with yourself. If it's any different if your relationship is different than you have with your son, your daughter, your loved one, change it. Like, we put ourselves second. We ignore our needs. We don't listen to our intuition. We make ourselves second best. I wonder if people started to appreciate, acknowledge, love who they are, I wonder what would happen with their health. So my advice would be, if you are sick, stressed, unwell, check in and see how you are treating yourself ultimately. And if it's bad, change it.
All right. So take a deep breath. We're about to jump into the quick fire questions. Are you ready?
All right, cool. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Favourite movie of all time?
I don't really have one, but one that would be up there would be Freedom Riders.
Freedom Riders. Okay. Yeah. Book recommendation?
The Body Says No by Dr. Gabor Mate.
Dream holiday destination?
I don't have one, but right now would be Vietnam.
Most underrated aspect of mental health?
High intensity exercise.
Best advice you've ever received?
Trust yourself, trust your instincts.
Favourite form of exercise?
Running.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Your go-to relaxation technique?
Tea, reality TV, and spending time with family or my partner.
And what's the most rewarding part about your work?
Seeing people overcome their challenges and have a loving relationship with themselves.
Tea or coffee?
Both.
Favourite fruit?
Berries.
One thing on your bucket list?
To go get my brain scanned by a famous psychiatrist in America.
A skill you've always wanted to learn?
It's not always, but now I want to learn homeopathy.
If you could have one superpower?
Know every language.
Okay, last one. Question 26. Finish this sentence. I believe.
I believe that human suffering is your body's way of saying, hey, you're hurting me and I need you to acknowledge me, listen to me, support me and love me.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Courtney. I've really enjoyed chatting with you, appreciated all of your insights and thought. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mags, for having me. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Wow. Now that was an insightful conversation with Courtney. A massive thank you to Courtney for your knowledge, your passion for wellness and balance with us here all today. We hope you all found this episode inspiring and informative. Now, if you want to stay tuned and updated with all of our adventures and up-and-coming episodes, do connect with us on social media. And if you enjoy this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Your support helps us grow and continue to bring content that makes a difference. Before we sign off, we've got a challenge for you. Spend the next 26 minutes every day this week doing something to strengthen your mind and your body. Whether it's a workout, meditation, learning something new, invest in yourself and you'll see transformation unfold. Now, as you embark on this challenge, remember our principles of achievement are attitude, power, and balance. Attitude is your vision. It's the belief and it's making a decision. It's the compass that guides your journey. Power is taking action, maintaining discipline and focusing on nutrition. It's the fuel that drives your progress. Balance, it's the time to rest, evaluate and adjust. It's the anchor that keeps your journey stable and sustainable. All right, now keep an eye out for our next episode, which is with former Australian heptathlete and Olympic gold medalist Glenys Nunn. You're not going to want to miss that one.